And so credit to GCU, not necessarily a negative on Cal, they tested them. So what I will tell you is that both USD and UCLA, whoever comes through this one, will be licking their chops a little bit at their opportunity.
Yes, next up on the pitch, it is the other Cup semi-final. It is local team USD versus UCLA, and Cal have shown themselves to be such a steady team throughout the tournament, but UCLA potentially the bolsters for this. They've shown that they have some real firepower, some electric players.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know about you, Jeremy, but what we've watched over the last couple of days, we've got a USD team that is really well coached and really well organised. A UCLA team, not saying they're not well coached and organised, but they've just got X factor. Get the ball into those hands, the likes of a Josh Cox, who's about to go up this in the air. As he takes it, they're pretty lethal characters, pretty lethal carriers, I should say. No,
absolutely they are, and you just mentioned it. I think they have a bit more X factor than USD. I think USD brings the shape and the physicality that will really test UCLA though. So I think it's going to be a very interesting 14 minutes. And you know, I normally like to prognosticate. I'm not on this one because I have no idea who's going to take this one.
Max Griffith's on the edge, and he's shown to have some fantastic footwork and pace throughout the tournament. It takes two to bring him down, and that brings a lot of those USD players over to the left-hand side, and they're going to try find Day and Joyce now, who's all the way over the far-hand side. They've got real electric players on each side, but it is a carry, and Joyce is going to have to play scrum half. They're playing with their ball in their own 22, but as we said, UCLA have players that can break tackles, and they are doing that right now as Max Griffith plays at 9, and again, they are going to side. They really want to play an expansive game, and a little bit of a hitch kick and a right-hand fend, but they are matched by the defence and the intensity from USD.
And you can just see on screen there, the bench of USD were really stoked about that, getting off their feet. There's an excellent defensive set, filling the field, putting that man under pressure by the touchline. As we say in rugby, the touchline's the best defender on the field. Use him. And they did there as USD put this ball in at the line-out.
USD trying to pop one to the middle to Paul Habeeb, but it doesn't go to hand. Looks like that is a knock-on, and the ball will be to UCLA, but territory still lies with USD. They won't be happy with that line out there. A great option for possession just outside the 22. Caulfield and Habeeb getting it wrong, but they'll try to keep them right up here in the UCLA half.
You could maybe say, actually, the wind has picked up. I'm looking at the flags in the distance. That wind is going from across our camera from right to left. So UCLA will have it, but it does make it when you're throwing that ball into the line out. It needs to be thrown straight. Maybe the wind made a bit of an impact.
Just as Caleb Thomasine thought he was coming away with the ball, UCLA have been awarded a penalty, and a great note with that wind. Possibly, would these guys put the boot to ball, put it up all the way down the far side now they have the wind at their backs?
I think potentially off a penalty, maybe it's an easy way of getting territory, but UCLA backing themselves to do it with ball in hand.
Day and Joyce with the carry and Max Griffiths over the ruck. That's their two speedsters together. So it's more playmakers on this side, but a little bit of footwork is shown, and a left-footed step from Vincent Dalue wearing the number 2, and they're awarded a penalty again. It's a little bit of discipline errors from USD, which we actually talked about earlier, are letting them down right now.
Yeah, what's crazy is UCLA really hasn't been outside of their 22 until now, so they've been pinned deep. They've had some possession, moved edge to edge, but they haven't got anywhere. Now they're starting to make a few strides, but still deep in their half.
Yeah, that's actually Josh Cox there at number 2, who's played so well from them throughout the tournament. Just a little bit of a jersey change as we see Max Griffith restart it. We still haven't been in the USD half, even though there's been so much possession for UCLA. We are seeing an expansive attack against a stern defence. How's this one got to go?
Well,
You
can just tell that USD are getting a lot of energy from their defence. They are working hard. They're getting 7 men on their feet, which is hard to attack against, as they make themselves look wide across the field. And now UCLA just going backwards, but now do they find a bit of space?
Yeah, there's some space on the edge here. Sorry, go ahead, Ian.
Cade Caulfield tracking in D, and Paulie Habeeb, 2 of the forwards, real physical forwards, putting in an effort there, and Caulfield rips that ball away, and he's absolutely stoked with himself as Paul Habeeb looks to take it quick and goes to Thomasine, and now it's a chance for USD to get themselves on the board. Thomasine tries to skip out of one, but he's pulled down by Jay and Joyce, who gets to his feet, shows some space and goes for the coach. Fantastic piece of individual effort from him, and he again goes quick. We're not really getting a rest in this one.
You can tell it's the tempo. Both teams try to inject. You just wonder whether one side's going to just get a bit of fatigue and let something loose.
That's Max Griffiths on the edge there. He gets that away to Dane Joyce. They've really got some hot steppers, but it's USD that are really chaperoning them well, and they've managed to win a breakdown penalty. It is a first half. It's 0-0. It's probably one of the more low-scoring games we've seen, but a little breakaway from the number 10 there, Suhr.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a 0-0 game, does it? We got another penalty against UCLA now, so USD will have one more chance to strike. But I think it's the most exciting scoreless game that we've had all tournament.
Exactly, refs just calling time here with a substitution, and you can see that we're back up in the UCLA half. We actually haven't been in the San Diego State half. We talked about kicking a little bit, Will. It's not something that you see too much in the sevens game, but if they have 7 up in D, is that something that the UCLA team should consider?
I think it's definitely a potential. You just all got to be on the same wavelength. You're going to kick the ball through, have your chasers there. But both teams looking to keep the ball in hand as USD move it to that edge, but unfortunately just a knock on.
Uncharacteristic knock on from Fouts there will give possession back to UCLA.
Yeah, most of the work's happening on UCLA's right side of the field, USD's left, and again just a lot of back and forth, some decent carries, but better defense than attack, and so far the defense is winning for both.
Yeah, we can see some messaging coming on from the UCLA touchline, trying to steady the ship. They've got Lucas Lecamp over there helping out, Olympian and USA Sevens player, former UCLA player as well. So they've got plenty of rugby IQ on the touchline trying to get messages on.
I don't know what the penalty count is, Will. Maybe you've kept better track of it, but there's a lot of penalties in this half.
And it's going back and forth, so at what point does someone decide not to be as ill-disciplined as UCLA run now?
Dane Joyce calls for the loop, and he manages to get it back to his number 10. That's Latimer, and it looks like it's maybe a high shot. He grabbed him by the collar. He had Max Griffiths on the outside. Danger here for USD. And the tap goes. That's Cox. Shows a step off the right, then a step off the left, and a little bit of calmness to do it himself. And surprisingly, after nearly 7 minutes, that's our first score on the board.
And Josh Cox, that left-footed step is what he's so notorious for. I could hear on the sideline before in the phases how USD, they were telling, watch number 2's left foot step. Well, in the end, it was the right, then followed by the left from Josh Cox. Wonderful try. And UCLA just holding on to that possession that little bit longer. You mentioned about the penalty count, Jeremy, and then I guess it was the last penalty that UCLA managed to tap and go from that gave them that try.
Yeah, and what a great try. You know, you talked about the X factor, and that was Josh Cox in that case. Beautiful try, conversion's good, so they're up 7-0.
Yeah, just as we watched the replay there was penalties. So as the ball went inside to Josh Cox, he said, I'll take it myself, has the tap, step off the right, step off the left, and then goes in and gets the first score of the day. USD have defended so well, and we were up in the opposition half, in the UCLA half the whole time, but they will really rue. They had a catalogue of missed opportunities in possession, a missed line out and a knock on at the edge, and then again from this restart. They won't be happy with that one, but they'll be happy to go into half time. Will, yourself, just from a team like USD who are defending so well and then get that opportunity, will they be so frustrated with those possessions where they've had an easy knock on, a line out miss? Yeah,
well, I think USD really do. They're a team that they sort of really go on energy. You can see in their camp just the fact that when they do things really well, everyone gets up, but it's about those opportunities. I should say not opportunities, but when the things don't go so well, how they then react. They are down. They haven't found themselves too much down in this competition over the last 2 days. UCLA, though, are a very good side. They've shown that with that try from Josh Cox. It's 7-0. USD, they will still look to back themselves, the Toreros, and bring themselves into this game in the second half.
We are back at the West Coast Sevens here at the Chula Vista Elite Athlete Training Centre, live on the Rugby Network and Cox. We've had a really close first half between UCLA and USD, with UCLA just managing to get a try through Josh Cox at the end of the half, and they will kick us off.
Yeah, I'd say echoes of the last game with Cal and GCU. Two very evenly matched teams. UCLA had one piece of magic from Cox that put them ahead, but USD is very much in this, and they also have the wind at their back. So I wouldn't be surprised, you were just mentioning it, Ian, I wouldn't be surprised if they put boot to ball and try and play down UCLA's end.
Big Cade Caulfield with the carry and gets an offload away, and they've managed to find an edge, and they're committing lads to that ruck, and it looks like UCLA have been pinged for not releasing the tackle. Gives Caleb Thomasine an opportunity to get them flowing again. The calls from the touchline are loud to get it to the big man who's going to go one-on-one against Max Griffiths. Max dives at the ankles, and it looks like there was a foot in touch from the number 12, Josh Butler. We've seen him get it on his score sheet many times through this tournament so far, but is that the right one for Max Griffiths, just to go low with the boots, just as they go quick again?
It was enough. He managed to just get a boot in touch. Literally, as we play on, though, as a quick line out from UCLA, so they're playing into the wind. They really want to bring the tempo.
Quick line out from UCLA goes all the way to the other side of the pitch to Dayan Joyce, and we see Max Griffith stand at first receiver now, and we're trying to bring it all the way to the edge. Strong carry, which is matched by Paulie Habeeb, but he's pinged for a high shot now, and UCLA will go again.
Yeah, UCLA's playing very patiently, looking for opportunities. They're starting to advance down the pitch, so they won't be unhappy with their performance.
Look at that.
Again, another turnover.
Work great from Paul Habeeb there indeed. Smashing tackle, and he got over the ball, contested it, and Caleb Thomasine has done a lovely short pass, and we switch it back to this side, goes across the body to Josh Butler. He's got a one-on-one now. Can he get the right-hand fend going? No, he's pulled into touch by UCLA, and we have a mirror image of just where we were recently. And referee has called halt to proceedings. There won't be a quick line out this time. The lads are going to get themselves a little bit of a pause. This has been a frantic second half, hasn't it?
A lot has been going on. You can feel the energy just on the sideline between the two benches. Obviously, there's this close rivalry here in Southern California, USD versus UCLA. And you could sense it's just a little bit frantic. There's some brilliant skill work and ball movement, particularly from that USD team, but the UCLA defense just keeps holding on. That scrambling defense was very, very good. We're going to come back, though, to a penalty right in the middle of the field. This is a great opportunity for the USD to attack.
Yes, it is. We're in the center of the pitch here. It's 7-0. USD have had a few opportunities to get up there in the UCLA half and score, and let's see if they can do with that same little loop play they run to try to get Caleb Thomasine hands on the ball. And Cade Caulfield tries to bust through and get an offload away. It goes a little bit high, but they manage to regather. A little bit of calmness from Thomasine, Habeeb, and we're going to go wide. Max Griffith cuts off the space, so they run the switch. Again, lovely little bit of hustle from the UCLA defenders, and it looks like they're rewarded with that one with Dayan Joyce with the poach.
It's interesting looking at the defense. UCLA's defense doesn't look as destructive as USD's, but it's as effective, and they keep getting turnovers at the breakdown and sitting on their lead a bit.
But they're moving together, Jeremy. That's the thing why it's effective. They're not sort of going away from each other and just opening up space. They're holding a nice defensive line, coming up together, and that, I think, has been a big reason why it's been looking quite good, as now you can tell they're wanting to inject that tempo in the attack. Great hands from Josh Cox.
Dummy there from Latimer, and he goes through, and Dayan Joyce gives it off to Griffiths, who has good feet and can beat tackles. He beats one and throws it up to Joyce again, who drops the shoulder, and they've managed to win the ruck. Griffiths at first receiver, one pass, two pass, and they're in the middle of the pitch. USD getting a little bit of ahead of the defensive line of the edge, and he takes the space in behind. And now it's Blake Allen to carry in the middle of the pitch, gets an offload away, and we are just outside the 22 here. USD are under pressure, but they've managed to win a turnover, and Caleb Thomasine throws a big one over the top, and we might go again, and Cade Caulfield might find himself in a little bit of space. Can he back himself? Can he bump? And can he get rid of this last man? He's going all the way. The noise from the USD touchline is huge, and Caulfield, the local San Diego man, gets a try just at the 15-meter channel. It is 7-5. This conversion might be an important one.
Absolute aggression, unapologetic aggression from Caulfield, just to bump off Josh Cox and get himself down that wing. Wonderful run by the USD man as he holds the ball in his hand now. I think just trying to catch a breath. We're all trying to catch some breath. You can feel the energy. I've said it now multiple times. This conversion is important though.
Lucas Suhr with the conversion.
Looks like a great one.
Boy. That is fantastic bit of techers here on that. He's just flown through the drop goal. As we look at the replay, it goes to the big man. You've got a one-on-one opportunity, and if you're a big boisterous back rower, you're thinking, get away, get off me. And that's the best bump that we've seen all day.
A brilliant bump, and actually he recognised that he wasn't going to do Josh Cox on speed in that 5-metre channel, so he went with absolute aggression, bumped him off well. Cox was on his back feet, and in the end, a great score.
Now we've got a game on our hands at the West Coast Sevens. The restart goes high. Paulie Habeeb goes up for it. It had gone over the single man lifting pod and he nearly took it. And with just 90 seconds to go, we are really in game-winning territory here with this scrum for UCLA.
Well, this next possession will determine everything, you know, down to about a minute. UCLA fairly deep in their half. They've got a long way to go. They do have the horses to get out there, but I'm pretty sure USD will put on a big push of his scrum, trying to turn them over.
UCLA have decided not to split up their attackers. They have Day and Joyce at first receiver. They have Griffiths all the way at the edge. But the first thing that they'll have to do is win their scrum. We've seen with strong teams before, like Cal and this USD team, that they can put shove-ons on the 3-man scrums. Ball goes in. And like we said, with a little bit of pressure, it didn't unfortunately go out. It came out the scrum, but it came out illegally. It looks like you said they were having too much of a shove around to the side, so it does go to Day and Joyce. And at 7-7, the last couple of possessions, you can hear the call for work from the touchline from Charlie Purden from this USD side, who have defended so stoutly the whole day, and they'll have to do it again here now.
Another great tackle by Habeeb, winning another turnover.
Habeeb over the ball, wins the pen. Caleb Thomasine will go quick, and is the ref going to call that knock 10, or is he going to call the knock? He's going to call the knock.
Well, I could see what Thomasine was trying to do. He was trying to catch that UCLA player offside. You've got to retreat 10 metres. And in the end, you could say questionable. Maybe it was a deliberate act. So the referees allowed it to play on, which means therefore a knock on he's given. And this is a last scrum, which you just think for UCLA, you just got to get this in and out. And for USD, you got to push with everything you got.
Yeah, we could be heading for our first overtime match. We haven't seen a tie all tournament, so let's see what happens from this scrum. Should be very interesting.
As we go towards the final play of the game, you nearly feel like this UCLA team will want to end it now. The USD team seem pretty fit. They seem pretty gritty. Maybe they'll like an overtime game. They're going to try finish it here with Griffiths. Throws the left, throws the right, steps inside again. But that's ripped from him. But it also might be a knock on. The ref looks like he might blow that one up. And yes, indeed, the ref is calling a knock on. The teams are going to come in together. They'll have a chance to have a little bit of a chat, and then we will go into extra time. At the full-time whistle, it's USD 7, UCLA 7, but we're going into extra time, lads.
We are indeed. You can tell it's getting frisky on the sidelines. It means a lot to these guys. Both programs, rugby programs that's going successfully. It's 7-7, USD versus UCLA in this Cup semi-final.
Like you said earlier, Will, breathless. And we can hear the USD sideline and their coach getting pretty aggravated with the referee. The calls are going against them. So they'll have to calm down a little bit for the overtime.
And it is our first overtime of the West Coast Sevens down in the Olympic Training Center in San Diego. We are going to restart this with a 5-minute golden point. So first to score is going to win this. After seeing USD and UCLA, Jeremy, who are you backing in this overtime?
I can't choose. I really can't choose. I'd love to be able to say it goes one way or the other. Again, I still think that UCLA does have the X factor that Will talked about early, but I think USD has been in the ascendancy, and so I'm not picking one. I'm going to defer to you two.
And again, Will, you talked about the wind earlier. Could it be that a side that has the wind just decides to kick it early and put all the play in that half?
Could be, yeah. As I said, the wind's going from right to left, and with such a tight contest, you're looking for any way to get the upper hand. As now they will go heads and tails, probably to decide who's going to kick off. who is going to have the wind. I was overhearing this will be 5 minutes, golden point. So ultimately, everything is going to matter in terms of who can get that first try. So UCLA, they'll play with the wind, going from right to left. USD will go from left to right into the wind. Will that be a difference? We shall find out.
Paulie, Habeeb and Day and Joyce there going for the toss. Will that be an important one when it comes to the end result here? UCLA will have the wind, but we haven't seen them use it throughout the game. They played with the ball in their own 22 the whole time, while USD had 7 up on D. Should they be kicking the ball, or is that too much of a risk given that it's golden point?
Well, I think it's, yeah, like you said, it's a risky proposition, but I think with the way this game's going, that UCLA might want to back themselves with a kick through and use some of the speed that they have on the edge to try and, pounce on the ball. But, we talked about in the before the overtime, and the ball was in hand. We'll see. All
right, here we go. First try wins in this extra time matchup. Great single man lift there, and Cox takes it. Griffith, that first receiver, and this is the first shot that UCLA will have a go at this USD team. Joyce gives it to the edge, wins that ruck, and there's great noise from the touchline here as it goes back to Cox. They try to swing it, and Paulie Habeeb is really defending well. They try the switch back on the inside, and it looks like that one's gone forward. Important one there. We talked about UCLA playing with the ball in their own 22, and this might be resulting in a pretty dangerous one here.
Well, playing inside their 22, I know they want to back themselves. We just talked about the win. Is it maybe that factor, using it to get down the other end of the field? A try will win it. USD inside the UCLA 22. There's some great threats across this Torero's water. They'll really be backing themselves here to try and win this game now.
Absolutely. I don't know why you try a switch play when you're trying to come out of your 22 and it's come back to bite UCLA.
Ball goes to Daniel Suhr, back to Thomasine, and it goes to our number 1, Jackson Short, who has got himself in for the try. The referees are having a look.
No, he's out. The cover tackle threw him out.
Wonderful, wonderful cover tackle in the end.
That is a try
by
saver.
one of the smallest men on the pitch.
That is a try saver. I was completely blocked by that USD bench from seeing that being put in at the 5 metre, but UCLA are still under pressure here with the line out from 5 metres out. Ball goes high and over the top, and Thomasine picks it up. Suhr with the ball to Suhr, and maybe on this side they'll find a little bit more luck, but that's a great cover tackle, and it looks like Daniel Suhr has got himself a try. The referee blows the whistle, and the celebrations from this USD team are huge. That's what you call a team punching up. They've certainly knocked off a team that would be ranked higher than them, and they can be stoked with that one.
Well, you just see what it means in this West Coast Sevens. What a brilliant battle we've just had there between USD versus UCLA. And in the end, the Toreros get themselves over the swan dive to finish it. What a way to finish it. And that try makes the game go towards USD. They will put themselves in the final. They will play Cal. What a great final we will have coming up. But what a game we just watched.
Yeah, we talked about some of the earlier games being a little bit high scoring, but we said that these ones are going to be hotly contested, and this one is absolutely no different. It's 12 points to 7 USD versus UCLA. Let's have a look at this replay. Ball goes over the top from UCLA. They tried to hit the back pod. Thomasine keeps it alive, and just that lovely pass and step back inside. Max Griffiths tries to get there for the tackle, and Daniel Suhr with the massive swan dive to get himself over. That one's deserved. Lucky he didn't knock that one on, I'll tell you that.
Wow. Again, breathless. USD, all credit to them. They looked as though they might be struggling a little bit halfway through the game, but they stuck to their pattern, they stuck to their plan. Their physicality really wore on UCLA, and great golden try, to win it. So now they have to get in recovery and get ready for Cal, while UCLA will be playing for 3rd and 4th against GCU a little bit later on. But congrats to both teams. A great match.
Yes, USD will have to be on top show, top performance to take down Cal in that final. USD have proven to be an aggressive and stout team, but they'll have to put more points on the board. They had a catalogue of errors in that semi. They'll want to have a high-scoring game against Cal. We are at the West Coast Sevens down at the Olympic Training Centre, which is, of course, home and training ground to the USA Sevens team, and we're stoked now to have new head coach Simon Amor over with Will Hooley.
Thank you, Ian. Yes, I am with new USA Sevens men's head coach Simon Amor. I would say welcome to the USA, but you have, of course, been here before, but it must be exciting wearing USA Rugby colours and seeing some great talent out there today.
Oh man, I'm so deeply honoured to get the opportunity to lead the programme. There is so much talent there in the senior programme, and then I've just watched two incredible semi-finals there. That last one between I think UCLA and San Diego down to the wire, going down to sudden death, extra time, and that swan dive at the end to finish. And that one previously, where I think it was GCU against Berkeley, was just incredible. I loved the fight from GCU. So there's some real talent out here, yeah.